like to welcome everybody here. And I'm glad to see so many people who want to come to purify their minds and to gain peace for themselves. Within this short time, we can surely gain purity of mind and peace through this practice. And in order to gain this goal, we first of all need to take moral precepts. We need to establish our morality, strengthen our morality. This is the basis for the mind to become concentrated. Without the basis of morality, the mind won't become concentrated. It is concentration that stills the obsessive defilements that rise in the mind. Sila, the restraint of body and speech, is the basis for us to do the work of concentration. And concentration is the base for knowledge, development of knowledge. Knowledge is that which uproots the seeds of the defilements so that our minds become pure, lastingly pure. This is what we can do through the practice. So the initial base that needs to be established is sila. And since everyone has come from other places to be here today, I only want to just talk briefly about sila, and then everyone take the precepts, and then everyone can get a good rest tonight and begin with listening to the instructions tomorrow morning. So most of you know that we take initially 9 moral precepts in this retreat. And the first of these is to refrain from killing, refrain from deliberately taking the life of another living being, even a small one. So that it doesn't mean when we accidentally swat something, or we shouldn't, but if we accidentally step on something, this is not what is meant by taking life deliberately. It has to be an act deliberately done. All beings want to live. No one wants to suffer. And if we deliberately harm another, we can't expect to find happiness for ourselves. The second precept is to refrain from taking what is not given to us, what belongs to others. That is stealing. The third precept is to refrain from all kinds of sexual activity during the period of this retreat. It is not that it is wrong for married people or people with partners to engage in sex with each other in their daily life. But in this retreat, we are trying to understand our own minds and bodies. And this happens best when we don't engage with anyone else. Well, after the retreat, people are free to resume their own lives. Whatever, their life as a lay person in any way, according to the 5 precepts. So the fourth precept is to refrain from lying. This is a very important precept for yogis, because yogis need to be honest and frank when they speak about their experience to the teacher. So it's just the teacher needs to know exactly what is happening when you apply the meditation instructions. And so for the yogi to be honest without pretending or hiding, without pretending that about something that isn't really there, without hiding something that is there. One should just be open and frank. The fifth precept is to refrain from taking intoxicants and recreational drugs. We're trying to see what is really happening, and we don't want to. Taking intoxicants tends to cloud the mind. So for the period of retreat, we refrain from this. And lay Buddhists who keep the 5 precepts refrain from this at all times. Drinking and taking drugs is like a ringleader. It can lead to breaking other moral precepts, and it also can cause us to forget to do good things like meditate. The 6th precept is to refrain from taking food between the time of dawn and noon. It's not that it's wrong to eat in the evening, but when we are meditating, we need to conserve our energy for meditation. And we can have more energy for meditation if we don't eat as many meals. So if we eat 2 meals, breakfast and lunch, that's quite enough for almost all people to have enough energy to meditate. And this frees up a lot of time in the evening when we don't have to be involved in digesting our food. And it's important in the spirit of being honest, it's important not to sneak snacks during the retreat. Sometimes people do this type of thing. I don't know about here, but I know it happens elsewhere. And it's important because your sila is the basis for the practice. And you want to have your sila as clean as possible. And the 7th precept is to refrain from entertainment, beautification, and adornment. That is, deliberately listening to or playing videos, listening to music. When there's a car going by and they're playing music really loudly, you can't help but hear it. That's not breaking the precept. It's deliberately viewing, deliberately turning music on, putting on makeup so that we'll become more beautiful. On the other hand, when people use deodorants or use scented soap in an effort to just try to keep from offending people, that's not breaking the precept. That's just trying to not offend people. So that is my personal view, that some people are able to do without scents at all, but sometimes the soap happens to be scented, and we use it to keep clean, not necessarily to beautify. And also adornments, wearing jewelry, is also part of not wearing jewelry is part of the precepts that we keep. And the 8th precept, not to sleep or sit on a high and luxurious place. And this is so that we won't indulge in sleep, and so that we won't also indulge in other sensual activities. That basically, when we sleep on a high and luxurious place, a wide place, very comfortable touch, it encourages us to indulge in sensual experience. So whether it's just sleeping more or actually enjoying sense pleasures in bed, we avoid sleeping on a high and luxurious place because of this. And then the 9th precept, to have a mind of loving kindness for all beings. When we do the practice, the mind of loving kindness for all beings will come naturally. But we also take this as a commitment, as part of the tradition established by Sayadaw U Kundala. Mm-hmm.